Hello everybody, Yogurt here. Today I'm going to show you how to set up the TwitchSpeaker and add it to the Streamer.bot, including the welcome message from my last YouTube video. So first we're going to look at the event log. That's where all your event data comes in. This is your speaking queue. This is where it waits for the next message. This is the speaking history. This is where all the messages that you have spoken have come through. And we're going to skip these ones and we're going to go right to settings. And we're going to go to General, and first thing to check is the enabled. You want to make sure that's on. You can also push the silence TTS and it'll click it off. That's so you can do it from anywhere in the app. Next, you want to set up your output device. I usually just leave it on default, but you can set it so it has different outputs so it can warn you when someone comes into the chat or something. And this is where you set up your Twitch. Normally right there it'll just say connect to Twitch, and it'll do it itself. You want to make sure the auto connect is on and the auto reconnect is on, and then you can also add your stream elements and stream labs. Next we're going to check out the speech engines. And the one that comes with Windows is the Sappy 5, and that is free, easy to use, and you just click on it and it'll add it. You can also add any of these if you have a subscription to them. I myself have the Azure. It's free per month, but for every 1 million characters it's $4 Canadian. And you can just set it up in there and you find your subscription key and your service region. And then you click on the ad engine. Next we're going to go to the voice aliases. So we can set up a voice. And I'll make a new one just for this tutorial. What are we going to name it? Dave. How about Dave? I like Dave. And we'll just click the ad. And now we have to choose the output, so you can make different voices go to different outputs, so it can do different things. Like you can have one that talks to chat and one that talks to you. And then we're going to have to add a voice in here. So we go down to the voice where it says random voice, and this is where we add in the voices. EN is English, obviously, and there's Canada there, and I'll pick Liam. And you can play with the pitch and the rate and the volume, and you can push test speak just to kind of test everything before you add it. And then you click the add button and you got it in there. And if you look in the in use, it shows what part of the app is using it for. So on Dave, we've got nothing right now. So now it's added as a default voice. We'll make Dave the default voice, and the highlight voice for the highlight messages. So next we're going to go to the ignored voices and locales. This changes it so when you use the random voice, it doesn't use certain voices or languages or whatever. You just have to go down here and you make a name for a profile. We'll just put main, and then you click on new. Then you go in there and you just add any of the voices or the languages you don't want, and put them in the ignored list. I don't use random voices, so I just leave this off. Then you go into the speaking options, and then you want to go down to the only say username if previous was different, and replace name with nickname if available. You also want a little space in between people doing stuff, like a little cooldown, so I put 5 seconds. You can change the max words. You want an URL filter, and you just put strip on. You want to make sure that all the stop and skip spoken messages are on. And in here, this is where you can add a command so that they can just use it without using points or anything. You just exclamation say, and then whatever they type after say will be spoken by the message. And this is where you add the permissions for it. I don't use that. I make you guys use points for it. Ha 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 ha. This is the bad word filter in the replacement, and you just go to strip, or you can yeet the whole message if you don't want them. And you just type in the word here. So I'll just poop. How about that? Now TwitchSpeaker won't say the word poop anytime somebody types it in. And then you can also do nicknames in here. So like with It's Just Yogurt, now I'll just say yogurt. If you got a regular in your chat that has numbers in their name, you can also make it so it takes out the numbers in their name. So let's just say Fred 1 2 3 4 5. And then you change and replace it with Fred. And you click add. So now every time Fred 1 2 3 4 5 is supposed to be spoken, it'll just say Fred instead. You can also do that in here with the users. You can just go to there, and then there's the nickname there. That works for anybody. And then that way you don't have numbers in their username when it's spoken. This is the events one. Now you want to make sure you pick the voice, and you want to make sure it's enabled. That's a big thing with this. Make sure it's enabled. And if you want to use the channel rewards so that it'll speak for you, you want to click on this channel points here and make sure that's on. And then you go over the channel points and you make sure those are disabled. So you click on it and then you make sure that it's enabled or disabled. For these ones, we want them disabled though. And you always make sure you click save. Save, save, save. For it to save the changes. There you go. So now they say no. And these also you can do it so it speaks whenever somebody follows you. It'll say so-and-so followed you. You can add them more messages if you want by just doing the same thing. So it says thank you for the follow, and you can just type your own in down at the bottom here. Next is the custom commands, kind of like what it was in the settings. So you just have it so it sets say and it says the voice. So let's make one for say make Dave. And you click add and make sure it's these are the permissions of people who can use it. You go add, and then you got to make sure that it's on the voice Dave. There you go. So next we're going to add this to the channel rewards. So we want Dave to say something. We have highlight your message, and we have Sally saying it. And you just click on the say input and pick the voice. So we're going to go over here, and we're going to make an action in here for Dave to speak. So we go in here and we can just right click and go to add. And we say title is TTS Dave. And add a cost and make sure you click on the user input required. I always put a little bit of a global cooldown, like 10 seconds between messages. And then you click OK. And then you go over to the TwitchSpeaker. And then you just make sure you click on the say input and you pick the voice. You go down to Dave here, yeah. So now when someone activates TTS Dave, it'll have Dave say something. We can also add it to that welcome message from my last YouTube video. So in here, you're going to want to go to the welcome message, and you can add it over here, and you want to add it just underneath the read random line or so. So let's get the add action, and we go down to TwitchSpeaker and go to speak, and we'll pick the alias Dave. It has to match what's in the TwitchSpeaker. You can pass it through a bad word filter, and then you put %, random line. That says tandem line. We'll have to change that to random line. There we go. And then we click OK. And then we're going to drag it up underneath the message. There we have it. Now every time someone says a message in your chat, it will read the random line from the welcome message.txt and speak it through your Twitch speaker. Thanks for watching, and I hope this was informative and helpful. And until next time, may the Schwartz be with you.